All right, good day. Welcome to another section. Today we want to talk about decision making and iteration. All right. So in making decision, one of the keywords you will use is what we call the if statement. So the if statement tests a condition if the condition is true, and if it is true, it executes a statement or some statement within the body um, or within the brace. And if it is not true, it skips or it executes another statement accompanied by the else keyword. All right, so let's look at a particular variable. So let's create a variable. So let's just say if let's create a variable called score. And so let's assign a value to score. Now we want to test if we can say if score is greater or equal to 40, then 40, then you can display to the screen you passed, you passed, or you pass this course, right? So you can give it a new line. So if score is greater or equal to 40, so if the score is equal to 40 or greater than 40, now the test for this condition, score, is score greater or equals to 40? What is score? What's the value in score? 50. So is 50 greater or equal to 40? Is greater than 40, right? So this is true. If this statement is true, it executes this body. So let's see what it will perform. Now, you need to understand that this, you pass this. Oh, the course. Okay, let's say this course. Okay, so you will see that because this condition is true, it executes. And now this statement is a single line statement. Just a single what? A single line statement. This is a single line statement, so there is no need for brace. If you input a brace, then it's okay. It's good, it's a good programming practice if you include your what, because it's just a single line statement. Now the beauty of using your brace is if you have if you want to execute more than one statement, then you will need your brace. So let's say I also want to display congratulations. So I want to display congratulations, right? Let me also include a new line and end my statement with. So if I run this, it will display you pass this course and congratulations. You pass this course and congratulations. If I refuse, if I omit the single line comment, it will still display you pass this course, congratulations. It will still display you pass this course, congratulations. But sometimes in a statement, you want to execute these two together. And if you don't put them in brace, the first one is mandatory to execute, to run. This other one is not mandatory. It's not mandatory. So it's very important that you always put your statement in what? In brace. So if this condition is true, then this statement can then execute. Now, that's if the condition is true, it executes. All right, now If you have more than one condition that you want to test, you can then use your if else statement. All right. If you just have just true condition to test, you can just say else, see out, failed. You can just say see out, you failed, you failed. All right. So see out, you failed. So you just have two condition. Is either if it's greater than or equals to 40 or less than 40. So it's either it prints you pass this course, congratulations, or you failed. So if you run it, it will display you pass this course, congratulations. Now, assuming this is 30, it's check. Is 30 greater or equals to 40? No, it's not greater or equal to 40. So it comes to this else statement, otherwise it's displayed to this field. So let's see our output. So you failed, right? So that's how you. But if you have multiple lines that you want to execute, you will use your if statement. So let's display to the screen a particular grade. So if is greater than 70 and score is less than 100. So if your score is less than 100, what happens? So you can just say see out, you have a new line. Okay, so you can copy this statement because we want to test for other condition. Else if the score is greater or equals to 60 but less than 69. 69. So it's greater or equals to 60. And so this is the logical operator. So these two conditions must be true before it executes the next line. You have what? You have B. So you can copy, Control C. Let me delete this. You can paste greater or equals to 50 but less than 9. Now C can also come to this line. Else if is greater or equals to 40 but less than less than 50. Let's say less than 50. Less than 50, less than 60, less than 70, less or equals to 100. So 100 inclusive. So less than equal to 100. All right, you have D. Otherwise, you display to the screen the words F. You have F. You have F. So now it look at the score value. What's the score value? 30. Is 30 greater or equal to 70? No. So this will not be executed. And 30 is less or equal to 100. No. This it comes here, it switches here. Is it greater or equal to 60 and less than 70? No. So it switch. So it moves to the appropriate one. So let's see what our score or what it will display, which statement will be executed. So you have F. So what if is 50 you have C. So what if it's 80? You have A. Now, I never took care of any number above 100. So I can come here and say if score is greater than 100, if score is greater than 100, see out the score is out of range. Is out of range. The score is out of range. Else if so, let's test for 80, you have A. So let's test for 180. Let's see what will be displayed. The score is out of range, right? So what I'm trying to say is the if statement is used to test a condition, and this your condition will be put your parentheses. Now, if this condition is true, then the statement following it will be executed. Now, remember, this is just a single line comment, single line statement. This statement to be executed is just a single line. So I never bother putting it in braces. But if it has to be multiple line, then now let me just try to emphasize what I'm trying to say. The score is above 100. Oh, sorry. So the score is above 100. Now let's see what will be executed. Now build error, saying there's a build error. Let's see. Now I hope I can find. Okay, if now it's pointing out that there's an error somewhere. Let's see. Illegal else without matching if. So here you can see illegal else because without matching if. So you can see we're having a, but if I enclose this in a bracket, you can see it eliminates because what he's trying to say is if this condition is true, this will be executed, right? So this if takes care of the other one, but now it's starting afresh. Else if, where's the if statement? Where's the if statement, preceding this else statement? That's why it's saying illegal else without a matching if, because the first if takes care of the first line, right? So that's what I'm trying to emphasize about when you are having multiple statements that will be executed. So let's execute. You will see it will display the score is out of range, the score is above 100. So we've been able to see how you can use just in single condition and a compound condition. This is a compound condition, tied together using a logical operator. So this is a condition, this is another condition tied together with what? So you can have multiple conditions like that as long as, to take care of certain rates. So you're having, so for this to be executed, for this statement to be executed, this condition must be true. So this must be true. And this also must be true before this statement. Because for an and to have an output, uh, both condition must be true. True and true will give you a true output from your experience in a Boolean logic operation. So we've been able to look at the if statements um, for a single condition and a compound condition. So let's also see how to use our loop, a for loop. Now, a for loop is used when we know the number of times a statement will be executed. So a for loop is used when you know the number of times a statement will be what? Will be executed. So let's say I have a variable called I, and I want to displace I love C++ to the string, let's say 50 times. So what's my starting criterion? I is starting from 1, my semicolon. My stopping criterion, I is stopping when it is less than 51, that is to say 50, or I can say less or equal to. And so when is I stopping, or what's the incremental? I'm incrementing it by 1, so I plus plus. I can come here and say, okay, cout, I love C++, new line, you see. So what would this do? This will display to the screen, I love C++, how many times? 50 times. So it's starting, these are our starting criterion. It starts when I is what? 1, and stop when I is 50, and it increments by 1. So this is how it executes. When I is 1, it displays I love C++. It increments I by 1. I becomes 2. Now, is 2 less than 50? Less or equal to 50? Yes. It displays I love C++. It increments again to 3. I becomes 3. Is 3 less or equals to 50? That is true. It executes I love C++. It increments. So up to 45 is 49. Is 49 less or equals to 50? Yes, it's less than 50. It executes. Is 50 less or equal to 50? 50 is not less than 50, but 50 is equal to 50. Then it executes, right? So if it increments, is 51 less or equal to 50? No. So it exits. It exits. So what I'm trying to say is, for every for loop, you need to note the condition, the starting, the stopping condition, and how do you want to increment it. So it will display to the screen, I lost it plus 50 number of times. So you use your for loop when you know the number of times you want a statement to be what? To be executed. So I love C++. All right. So you can also display the value of I. You can also display the value of I. So you can also display the value of I. How many number of times? 50 number of times. So when I is 1, it displays is 1 less than 50, less or equals to 50. Yes, it displays the value of I, which is 1. It increments I by 1. I becomes 2. Is 2 less or equals to 50? Yes, it displays the value of I, which is 2. It increments by 1, 3, 4. When it's 50, 49. Is 49 less or equals to 50? Is less than 50? It execute, and is 50 less or equals to 50? Yes, it executes. So you can see it helps you to what? To iterate when you don't know the number of times. So let's see the output of our condition. So you can see it's the starting criterion is 1 and it stops at 50. At 50. So this is your incremental is incrementing by 1 plus plus I. But so plus plus I means I equals I plus 1, or you can write it in a symbolical way like I plus equals 1. So it's still the same thing. So what if you want to increment your step by 2, by 3, by 4, by any number? So you can just say, let's say I want to increment by 2, I equals I plus 2 plus 2. So I can also write it this way, I plus equals to 2 equals to 2, right? So I can do it that way. I can come here and so put it in a bracket and say I plus equals to 2. So I'm incrementing by 2. I'm incrementing by 2. So let's look at the output of I. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, and the rest. And the rest. So if this condition is true, this will be executed. So let me just we can also have a compound statement. We can also have a compound statement where, let's say, I also have I and j. I can say I equals 1 and j equals 50 and j equals 50. So I is less than 50. Let me see. Okay, I is less than 50, and let's say j is greater than 0. J is greater than 0. I can say plus plus I, comma, j minus minus. So I can come here, see out j and line. So let's see what we will have. So you can see we're having two conditions as our starting, 2 as our stopping, and our incremental. So let's see what we would have. You can see so starting j equals 50 is stopping at when I is less than 50 and when j is greater than 0. So you can have this You can have a for loop inside another for loop, but I will leave you to practice that. I gave you an assignment, so you look at it. So we use a for loop when we know the number of times a statement needs to be executed. So you can also express this using a while loop. You can also execute this using a while loop. So you need to, one thing about while loop is you need to have your starting criterion. You can say while our condition I is less than 50. While this is true, I want you to display the value of I. Let me just give it a tab spacing. A tab spacing. Display the value of I and increment the value of I for me. Plus I. So I starting with 1. If this condition is true, it executes the body, the statement in the body. So 1 is 1 less than 50, yes. So it displays I on 1 tab. It increments I by 1. That's true. It's 2 less than 50, yes. It displays 2 tab spacing. It increments also. So you are having more like the starting criterion, the stopping criterion, and the incremental. So let's see the results. Okay, you can see we're having, so you can also increment by 2. You can see I plus equals to 2. I plus equals to 2. So it increments by 2. What you can do in for loop, you can also do it here also. So you use your while loop when you don't know the sometimes when you don't know the number of times you want to execute a particular statement. A for loop is used when it's definite. Now, let me give you an example. Let's say I have a character, and the character is answer, and my character is Y. While answer is what? Is Y, or while answer is capital Y. So while answer is capital Y, display I love C. I love C++. Love C++. Display I love C++. Let me make it your line. All right. So you can ask out, do you want to perform, do you want to display this again? You want to display this again? Yes, equals Y, and no is what? any key. So no is any key, right? So do you want to display the new line? So see in your answer. You can see in your answer. So you can use this to display I love you, I love C++, and ask the user, do you want to display this again? So as long as the user is inputting Y, small letter y, or capital letter Y, it keeps displaying I love C++. I love C++. Display I love this, I love C++. So let's execute. So I love this C++. Do you want to display this again? You press your Y, you enter I love C++. So as long as you press Y or capital letter Y, it will keep saying I love. Any other key, it will exit. You can see. So that's that for you. You can also do this using your do while loop. So your do while statement. The do while statement is synonymous to your while statement. The only constraint is that your while first of all tests your condition before it executes the statement. But your do while statement executes the statement first. Is more like do this, execute this, while then it tests condition. It tests while answer is this, So if this is true, it executes again, it tests. But now for do while loop, it is guaranteed that even if your answer is not correct, it will still run your statement at least once, just once. So just imagine I input another value, let's say no, it will still display I love C++, before it tests. You understand? Before it tests. So can you see I love C++? So if this is yes, it's still yes, yes, yes. So any other key. So even you can just decide for do while statement, you can decide not to input the value because this is where it tests your value, right? So that's for your do while loop. So the last keyword we will look at is what we call the switch statement. The switch statement. So let's say I want to make a choice. I want to make a choice. So I ask, let's just say I display to the screen, welcome to First Bank PLC. Oh, sorry. Oh, First Bank PLC. Welcome to First Bank PLC. I also display what transaction do you want to perform? What transaction do you want to perform? So I'm asking you what transaction do you want to perform? Then I end my statement. I can come here, say, okay, see out. One is for withdrawal. withdrawal. 2 is for deposits. 3 is for transfer money. Let's say 4 is for, let's say 4 is for pay bills. Pay bills. Okay, so let's just say we're having this option. Pay bills. So we then ask the user to input the choice. Then we can use our switch statement. The switch statement. So we build a case for the switch statement. So if it is 1, what should it do? You can come here and just say cout. You can just say you want to withdraw. You want to withdraw. Let's just say that's what you want to execute. You want to withdraw. Now, for every case, you have to break the case. For every case, you break the case. You can come here, copy this, come to the second, say for case 2, what is case 2? You want to deposit. For case 3, you want to transfer. Let me just copy it. You want to transfer money. So case 4, copy, C, case 4, what happens? You want to pay bills. So let me copy my pay bills. You want to pay bills. Now, in our case, we always have what we call the fourth statement. If none of the fourth statement, if none of the input from the user is not among the case, the fourth statement will be printed out, will be executed. So you can just display this option isn't available. This option is not what? Available. So so let's see. So if the user wants to make deposit, you press 2, and so it takes him to the case 2 and execute the statement in that case. So it says you want to deposit. Now, you need to be aware that sometimes the statement to be executed is more than a line. It's more than a line. Then, no, you can also have this. You want to deposit, and say how much do you want? How much do you want to deposit? You can execute series of statements. When it gets to this case 2, it executes series of statements that you want, and at the end of the statement, it breaks. Right? Now, for a real life situation, this might not be the best programming style you will use. You might use what we call the object-oriented method, object-oriented programming method or style, right? So, but we are trying to see what we can make do of this. So, so you can see. So let's execute this. Okay. Welcome to First Bank PLC. What transaction do you want to perform? So if I press 2 and I hit enter, it took me to the appropriate. Oh, you want to deposit. How much do you want to deposit? Right? So I can run again. Let's say 4. Oh, you want to pay bills. It takes me to the appropriate case. So that's why this keyword is switch. It will switch to the appropriate case. It switches to the appropriate case, right? So now, if none, I input the value of 5. You can see there's no case for 5, so the default will be printed. This option isn't available. This option isn't available. Now, let's see. This break is compulsory. Else it will. Now let's just break it out. So imagine I execute and I press 1 for withdrawal. It will execute that of case 1 and case 2. You can see you want to withdraw, you want to deposit, how much do you want to deposit, right? So it's executing case 1 and case 2 because the break isn't there. The break is more like exit. Yeah, I'm done, just exit, right? So it's not exiting out of this case. So it continues with what? With this case until it sees what? A break. So if you omit the break here for case 2, it executes case 1, case 2, and also case 3. So it's important for you to always use your break keyword so that it now this is for if your choice is a number, right? What if your choice is what? A character? What do you do? So here you can just say A for withdrawal, B for deposits, C for transfer, while this. So here, so how do you specify it? You won't just say A, you just, because it's a character, you just have to put it, in single quotes. Come here also and put B in single quotes. Come here and put this in single quotes. B, because it's a character, so you put them in single quotes. So let's run and see. So what do you want to perform? A. So if you press A, you can see you want to withdraw. So if I press F, is none of our options, right? Okay, so we've been able to see how we can use the if statement, the for loop statement, the while statement, the do while statement, and also the switch statement. All right, thanks for joining us today. We appreciate you for joining us. All right, please endeavor to practice, endeavor also attempt the question in the last class I gave. All right, bye.